Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Marty's Maritime. Today, I wanted to give a quick rundown on the U.S. Navy's medium landing ship report to Congress, which was published January 23rd, 2025. So, let's start off. What is it? So we scroll down to page 8 here. Get a quick overview. Now, the concept of the vessel is based on the Marine Corps' idea of what they call distributed maritime operations, which is basically the idea that if we spread everything out and we're fast enough, you can't kill us all. So that's what they're going for with this vessel here. So the Marine Corps wants a ship that can move around a lot of equipment onto the beach fast, and then pack up and head out. So that's quick rundown on the idea behind the ship. So obviously they're still in the procurement process of this. It hasn't been laid down or anything yet. They're still talking about the force design and everything. So if we can actually get some stats on what they're looking for here. Before we do that, here's what they want, right? Rapidly maneuver forces from shore to shore in a contested environment, sustain a combat credible force ashore, conduct enduring operations, enable persistent joint force operations and power projection, and provide increased and capable force forward presence. Now, that's a whole lot of buzzwords there that I'm not entirely sure they're meeting with these ideas, but let's go look at these design characteristics. So the Navy and Marine Corps want these medium landing ships, LSMs, to be relatively simple and relatively inexpensive ships, and they have the following design features, right? 200 feet, 400 feet, a draft 12 feet. 12 feet is going to get you into pretty much any port in the world. So very shallow ships. They want a full-time crew of 70 sailors. Right, full-time crew, think about that. And then a capacity of carrying 50 Marines, so about a platoon of Marines, and then 648 short tons of equipment. They want a transit speed of 14 knots and a range of 3,500 miles. And here's the fun fact, or fun part of it, is roll-on, roll-off beaching capability. So, like I said, with the distributed maritime operations the Marine Corps has been transferring to, they want to be able to land on these beaches, roll off their equipment, shoot some stuff, and then come back onto the ship and get out of there. It also wants a helicopter landing pad, and then two 30-millimeter guns and 650 cal, and then 20 years service life. Only 20 years is what they're planning for with this thing. So let's go see if they. I believe there's some stuff. Yep, here's a rendering of it. Not a very exciting rendering. Let's look. There's a better one right here. So what I'm surprised about is the armament of this thing. They say self-defense. They're going to have two 30 millimeters and 650 cals. I'd like to see some sort of CIWS or equivalent up by the bridge there. There's really no air defense on this thing. Be kind of like letting a fox in the chicken coop. It's a future platform, but there's absolutely zero air defense for this vessel of 130, 120 people, plus all that equipment. It doesn't seem very realistic. I'd imagine they'd also be steaming around, a few of these together. So, one missile would all it takes, and it's not like you can stop a missile with just a 30 millimeter gun. It's not realistic. And then let's scroll down. So they're planning on procuring these things. They requested funding for it in January of 25, I believe. Yep. Navy proposed fiscal year 25 budget request of $268.1 million to procure the first vessel in the program. We'll see if that happens. With budgets these days, who really knows? All right, we're gonna now down here's where it kind of made me laugh earlier when I was reading through this. It's analysis of alternatives. All right, it mentions here adapting the U.S. Army landing ships, the logistic support vessels, right? So, I don't really think about the Army having too many ships, but they do have a lot of ships, and this is what they look like. Doesn't that look familiar? Doesn't this look exactly like the rendering? Scroll back up to the rendering here. Look at that. This is what the Army has. Not a whole lot of difference. I mean, it's missing the guns, right? Missing the guns, roll on, roll off capability. Um, yeah, just looks like the Army's already got these, right? They're the Frank S. Besson class support ships, the General Frank S. Besson. So it's operated by U.S. Army and Israeli Navy, right? There's 8 of them sailing around out there. They started making them in the 80s. I believe most of the U.S. ones operational are made in the 90s. And the last one was 2006. That would be the Robert Smalls. Now, these things are 15, they can carry up to 15 battle tanks, roll off the platform there. 15 battle tanks can fit in there. And if you look at their stats, what are they? 273 feet. Well, the Navy wants a 200 foot to 400 foot vessel. You got to draft to 12 feet, propulsion, a little bit slow, right? So Navy wanted something a little bit faster. I believe they wanted a max speed of 22 knots based on their report. So engineering plant might be something we have to change around. But here's what's crazy to me is these are operated full time by a staff of 8 officers and 23 enlisted. And the Navy wants a crew of 70 full time. Right? So that's more than double what the current Army equivalent of the vessels operating at. It's a lot of people, right? And they want a flight deck too. I was reading around, and it says the Philippine Navy commissioned 2 of these logistics support ships, and they were based on the helicopter capable variant of the same logistics support ship. So the U.S. government already owns a design for a logistics support ship that has helicopter capability and is able to match almost all of these statistics. Now, is there a need for upgraded engineering plant? Yeah, probably. Could they do they need to add guns? Yeah, like plenty of space right here, right? Just build out a little platform, boom, CIWS or CRAM or something equivalent, and then your gun systems can go right here. Do you really need 30 millimeter cannons? I mean, you're not going to be doing any beach support with 30 millimeter cannons, so not really sure what those are for. Probably just some sort of fast attack craft incoming or something. But CIWS can handle a lot of that, and put some machine guns there. And I think the Navy has their ship. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few years. And if the Navy does go ahead and buy these, I can imagine them being around much more than their 20-year service life that they're questioning here. I mean, we're driving around ships that are from the 60s now. So imagine these would be around a while, probably around 40 plus years instead of that 20-year service life that they're asking for. But yeah, I'll be curious to see how this gets transformed, and if people kind of realize, what's going on, and maybe the Army will get these craft transferred to the Navy, and then it kind of solves some of the issues there. So that's Marty's Maritime, and I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and share. Thank you.